Have you ever felt far from God? Not because He left you, but because you walked away? Life got busy, problems piled up. Your heart was tired, and somewhere along the way, you stopped praying. You stopped listening. You stopped feeling close to Him. But here's the truth. God never forgot you. Not for a single moment. Even when you forgot His voice, His eyes were still on you. Even when you didn't look for Him, He was watching over you. This is a story about that kind of love. The kind that stays, even when we wander. Chapter 1. Seasons of distance. There are seasons in life when we drift away from God without even noticing. It doesn't always happen because of rebellion or anger. Sometimes it happens because life feels overwhelming. You start a new job and your schedule changes. You're chasing dreams, paying bills, fixing problems. And slowly, prayer becomes something you mean to do later. Later becomes next week. Next week becomes months. Other times, pain pushes us away. A prayer went unanswered. A loved one was lost. You thought, if God really cared, this wouldn't have happened. So you built a wall around your heart. In the Bible, there's a story of the prodigal son in Luke 15. He chose to leave his father's house, thinking life would be better far away. But while he was gone, his father never stopped waiting. Every day he looked down the road, hoping his son would return. That's how God feels about you. Even in the seasons when you forget Him, He never forgets you. Chapter 2. Why we forget Him. For many of us, forgetting God doesn't happen in one big moment. It happens slowly, like a sunset fading into night. One reason is comfort. When life feels stable, when the bills are paid, when the relationships are good, we think we can handle things on our own. We rely on our plans, our skills, our routines. And little by little, we stop leaning on Him. Another reason is pain. When life breaks our hearts, we sometimes close ourselves off. We think, if I don't talk to God, I won't be disappointed again. But in protecting ourselves from disappointment, we also shut ourselves off from the very comfort we need most. And then there's distraction. We live in a noisy world, constant messages, endless notifications, 100 voices competing for our attention. In all the noise, the quiet voice of God can be drowned out. Not because He isn't speaking, but because we've stopped listening. The people of Israel experienced this again and again in the Bible. When life was hard, they cried out to God. But when blessings came, they often forgot Him. And yet, every time they turned back, He welcomed them with mercy. It's not that we mean to forget Him. It's that our hearts are so quick to wander. But the good news is this. Even when our attention drifts, God's attention never does. He is the shepherd who leaves the 99 to go after the one that is lost. And that one is often you and me. Chapter 3. The God Who Comes Looking. When we drift away from God, we often imagine He's far off, waiting for us to make the long journey back. But the truth is, God doesn't just wait. He comes looking. Think of the parable of the lost sheep. A shepherd had 100 sheep, and one wandered away. He didn't say, "Well, I still have 99. That's good enough." No. He left the 99 to search for the one that was lost. And when he found it, he carried it home on his shoulders, rejoicing. That's the heart of God toward you. When you've been distracted, when you've chosen other priorities, when you've tried to run, He still pursues you. Not with anger, but with love that refuses to give up. We see this in the story of Peter. After denying Jesus 3 times, Peter must have felt like his ministry, his calling, and his friendship with Jesus were over. But after the resurrection, Jesus didn't wait for Peter to come find Him. Instead, He went to where Peter was, by the sea, and restored him over a simple breakfast. This is how God comes for us too. through a song that touches your heart at just the right moment, through a conversation that stirs something deep inside you, through a memory of his goodness that refuses to fade. You may forget him for a season. You may wander far from where you began. But he will never stop seeking you. And when he finds you, his arms will be open, not to punish, but to bring you home. Chapter 4. When you return to God. Coming back to God can feel intimidating. You remember the mistakes, the broken promises, the times you chose something else instead of him. The enemy will try to whisper, "You're not worthy. You've gone too far. God doesn't want you anymore." But that's a lie. Think about the prodigal son. He took his inheritance early, wasted it on reckless living, and ended up broke and hungry. When he decided to return home, he practiced a speech, "I'm no longer worthy to be called your son." But before he could even finish, his father ran to him, embraced him, and celebrated his return. That's how God welcomes you back. Not with suspicion, but with joy. He's not holding a list of your failures. He's holding out a robe, a ring, and an invitation to the table. When you take even one step toward him, he meets you there. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to erase the past. You just have to come, and he will make all things new. Chapter 5. Redeeming the lost time. Maybe you feel like you've wasted years away from God. Opportunities passed, dreams faded, faith grew cold, but God is a redeemer of time. Joel 2:25 says, "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten." When you return to him, he doesn't just forgive your past. He can rebuild what was broken and even multiply the fruit of your future. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before God called him to lead Israel. Those years weren't wasted. They were preparation. The same is true for you. The seasons you thought were empty can become the very foundation of your calling. Your testimony, the story of how God never forgot you, will speak to others who feel lost right now. In his hands, nothing is wasted. Chapter 6. Living remembered. When you realize God has never forgotten you, everything changes. You stop living like someone who's overlooked and start living like someone who's deeply loved. This means walking with gratitude every day, even in small things. It means talking to him in the quiet moments, not just in emergencies. It means choosing his presence over distraction, his truth over the world's noise. And when you feel yourself drifting again, because we all do, you'll remember this truth. God is the shepherd who searches. God is the father who runs. God is the friend who stays. You may forget him for a moment, but he will never forget you for a lifetime. Your story is not about how perfectly you've held on to God. It's about how faithfully he has held on to you. From the first breath you took until this very moment, he has never turned his eyes away. Even when you wandered, even when you doubted, even when you forgot. So take this step today, back toward him or deeper into his presence if you've never left. Let your life be proof that God's love is stronger than your mistakes. Because here's the truth that will never change. God didn't forget you, even when you forgot him. And he never will.